Yourself?
So I'm teaching in India
Mm-hmm.
in Vinoba University,
Mm-hmm.
and did my PhD and other education from Delhi University.
Mm-hmm.
And my area of interest, my PhD was on India-European Union
I
relations.
see.
Recently, I came here in Boston, Harvard Medical School.
Mm-hmm.
It was an IJAS conference,
Mm-hmm.
and my paper was on development, globalization,
Mm-hmm.
and environment, the
Mm-hmm.
21st century dilemma.
I see.
And I've been reading your books and
Uh-huh.
Professor Joseph Stiglitz and
Mm-hmm.
Jeffrey Sachs.
Mm-hmm.
I met Professor Bhagwati,
Mm-hmm.
Jagdish Bhagwati in
Mhm.
Columbia University.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Professor Mark Sen was not there,
Mm-hmm.
and other people I could not meet because, and I'm lucky that I met you.
Okay.
So your article on democracy, is
Mhm.
democracy working? Actually I organized a national conference in India just
Oh, really?
now,
Uh-huh.
and the challenges of democracy,
Mm-hmm.
how things are, is it really working?
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to, everything is there on the net and in your
Mhm.
books, but
Mhm.
still from your mouth, since I'm here,
Mm-hmm.
and it would be a great thing for my students when I go
Mhm.
back home that I met Professor Francis Fukuyama.
Mm-hmm.
So from your mouth, sir, do you think democracy is working?
Well, I don't think you can answer that simply because it's working very well in some places and it's working very poorly in others.
In others.
I mean, I think that, if you want to speak about India, in many respects it's working quite well, because if you think about how India is ethnically and religiously and geographically in all sorts of ways such a complex, divided country,
Yeah.
the fact that it holds together at all, is quite remarkable, and it's been quite stable really since independence, with a couple of exceptions. But basically, in that sense, it's been working extremely well. On the other hand, it does seem to me that India has some real problems in decision making. You see this especially in something like infrastructure, where there's a big, need for airports and water, electricity, investments,
Basic
and all these things.
necessities,
And here's where the comparison, I think, with China, makes India not look so good, because there's been a real deficit in this, and I think it's largely, in a certain way, it's the political system that, the political system in India just has a large problem in coming to big decisions, to do
and
this
also
sort of
in the
thing.
implementation part of it.
And in the implementation,
implementation.
yeah.
A lot to do with the education system over there.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, and
literacy
the legal
all,
system also, it gets very,
Yeah.
There's a lot of legal challenges and, complexity that, so, in that sense, India, it's not that it's not working, but it could be working a lot better than it is working, so.
It could be, yeah. If you compare it with America, how do you think? The democratic system over here is much better, or?
Well, in certain ways, it is. I think that, there's a level of just routine corruption in India that doesn't exist in the United States.
Okay.
I think that in the United States we've created this new form of corruption in terms of lobbyists and, K Street interest groups and this sort of thing,
Exactly.
which is a little bit, different, but is also, I think, debilitating, in many respects. American society is highly polarized in many ways that has also become quite dysfunctional. So it depends. I mean, in some areas there's some comparability. So I think in both countries, I think we both had a problem in getting the system to produce fundamental decisions, that are needed. But on the other hand, they're both free countries, and there's a lot
naturally,
of,
yes. And about the fact that whatever you have written, end of history and the last man, and the end of ideology, do you think the liberal capitalist democratic system is actually the thing that should be, and it is the most beneficial for mankind?
Well, I think, there are different versions of it, but I don't think that in the long run I see an alternative that in the long run is going to work better. It's going to be some form of authoritarian, regime, and I think all of them have big problems as well. And so the question is, compared to what is it the best system? but I do think that there's a lot of democracies that aren't working very well, and
There's a lot of scope for improvement,
yes.
and changes are needed.
Yeah.
Because democracy is also, it has also become authoritarian.
Mm-hmm.
Because the political parties and whichever party comes to power and the ministers, they become kind of rulers, dictators.
Mm-hmm.
Before the elections, they have a different way of talking and doing things and promising to people, and after elections, everything changes, the scenario changes. And about inequalities, I have been here to the US. I landed here on 24th, and people say US is a land of opportunities, and I'm finding so many poor people around, many beggars, especially at the downtowns of New York, Washington, and wherever I go, even Boston.
Yeah, that's true.
What's the kind of inequality? Is it really what Professor Stiglitz is saying, that there's 0.01% people having a wage of $97,000 a month?
Well, it's complicated. I mean, there's different forms of inequality. So, homeless people, is one thing. I think that, the more widespread form is the fact that a lot of middle-class people have basically seen their wages stagnate over the last 30 years.
Yeah.
So, so it's not that they're living in destitution, without homes or,
They're not.
I mean, they're doing okay, but they're just not sharing in the, economic growth that has been, accruing to other people.
And even in this condition, where the people of US are after the two economic dips, and the third might be in the offing in 2016, still their condition is, I think, much, much better than what the people are having in India.
Yeah,
countries
well,
and the
it's still a
developed
very rich
nations,
country. Yeah, it's a very rich country.
Yeah. So still, everything is fine, no matter
Well,
what the
I don't
economic
know,
depression
fine.
says.
It's true that among the developed countries, the United States is actually economically probably doing as the best of any of them, because our unemployment is down to 5.5%, and we're probably going to have 2-3% growth this year. So
This year, so things are improving. So it talks about the next economic dip in 2016. It could not be true.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows that. It's kind of prophecy. It's not certain that it would happen.
Right.
There's one more thing I'd like to know from you. What about the social security of people, especially of people coming from outside, immigrants over here? Do you think they're okay? Things are fine for them?
Well, the main reason that people come to the United States is not, I think, for the welfare, it's for work.
For work, yeah.
And, we have a pretty vigorous labor market, and, so most people get work. Whether they also then get government benefits of various sorts is a complicated thing. It depends on the state you're living in and, how generous those are and so forth. But I think primarily, the big thing that we have that Europe doesn't have is the kind of employment for people like that.
So it's such a large country, the US, all places are so far off from each other, and vast stretches of land without anything, no inhabitation over there. So do you think it is an asset for the US? What about the population over here? So like if we compare it with India, population is a big problem over there.
Yeah, well, the density is
the
not
more
as
we are
high.
growing, still the population is a big hamper in that.
I think that's true.
And so it was very wonderful meeting you, sir.
Right.
But I'm very sorry that I had to come here without an
That's
appointment.
okay. It's okay.
So thank you so much.
Okay.
Sir.
Well, nice
Thank
to
you
meet
so
you.